Hi guys, Geekonomics here once again, and this is the next chapter in this series of the 100-year life. And those of you who are hopefully going to be participating in the debating competition alongside the North East Institute of Business Ethics later this year, planning is afoot for that. And so here we are in chapter 6. Chapter 6, ladies and gentlemen, is entitled Stages. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, the more I read this book, the more envious I am of you people who are probably at school at the moment and in your mid, early, late teens. You've got such an exciting life ahead of yourselves. So let me just talk a little bit about what it says are the prospects for you moving forward in your generation. So the book, the authors start off by saying that you must consider this new multi-stage life as a time when you can develop and build a cathedral rather than a shopping mall. We're very lucky in the northeast of England here to live beside Durham Cathedral, and what an amazing building that is. Those of you who've never been along before, do get along. How on earth a building like that was built so many years ago without any JCB or proper equipment to build it? It's really remarkable. But of course something like that takes time, it takes effort, it takes precision, it takes craft, it takes investment. Whereas shopping malls or shopping centres, they can be knocked up in a few weeks, a couple of months you can knock up a shopping mall. And so you are very lucky that in your lifetimes, because your life is going to be so much longer, you do not have to cram so much into such a short period of time. And so you must consider that you, over the course of your life, you are building a cathedral, not a shopping mall, not something which is just going to be over in a flash. Now, looking back, the authors reflect on the stages of life that we have experienced in the 19th, 20th and moving forwards in the 21st century. So traditionally we just had the sort of, you were a child, then you were an adult. Then in the 20th century, these newfangled people came around and they were called teenagers. And then when you finish your working lives, your traditional 3-stage life, you then retired and you became a retiree. Well, that of course requires lots of adjustment. When you move from being child to teenager, particularly difficult, and then adult to being retired, moving from adulthood into retirement, that can be quite difficult for people as well. And so that takes a lot of adjustment. And so the authors hypothesize, that in the next number of years we will see further stages of adjustment, which will be equally difficult and require equally substantial amounts of adjustment, but yet one should embrace that. Let's not be frightened of that, let's embrace it. Now this is a phrase that I really love in this book, and it occurs over and over again, that stage does not equal age. No longer will it be possible to ask somebody, oh, do you go to university? And then, now we would automatically assume, of course, that that person is probably late teens, early 20s. Well, as we move to this multi-stage life, where you will have more opportunities to dip your toe in and out of education, well, you'll not be able to say, oh, well, that person, because they're at university, they must be in their early 20s. No, it could be that they're in their 50s, 60s, whatever it may be. Now, of course, a great thing, and this is why I'm so sort of hip and down with the kids, I'm spending a lot of my time with young people. And if you do spend a lot of your time with young people, it keeps you young as well. And so, if you're going to be younger for longer, then the old and the young will be mixing together much more, and that will be of great benefit to people who are actually getting old, because their mindset will be a lot younger. I'm sure you can think of people that you know whose mindset is, even though they're quite elderly by age, is still very young at heart in that respect. And then, ladies and gentlemen, this is where it starts to get really exciting, I think, from your point of view, in terms of the multi-stage life, because you will have so much more time to invest in things which maybe people of my generation wish that they had more time for. So when you are, if we just jump to this last point here, when you're building your portfolio over the course of a week, and that's what they refer to it as in this book, you might have a couple of days where you work, and then maybe a day or two where you're working for the community and helping out in the community, hobbies, charity, all of these types of things. You are so lucky that you will have the time to invest in these things. Now, what might that take the form of? Well, you'll have more time for play. So you'll have more time for travel, more time for family, more time to develop your hobbies. I mean, I wish that I could develop my guitar playing skills, but I just do not have the time. You people are so lucky that you will have the time because, as the authors say, you will be free from the somewhat relentless nature of work. And that really, that's the sign of the times, I'm afraid, that work, whilst can be very enjoyable, it can sometimes take over due to the relentless nature of it. You'll be able to maybe immerse yourselves in new cultures, go and live somewhere for a prolonged period of time, because of course, as the authors say, that's really the way that you get to know somewhere really well. You'll be able to undergo transformational and life-changing experience. Maybe that it might involve some sort of exploration, who knows? And because you'll have a much longer life, you might be able to dip your toe into the water of being an entrepreneur once, twice, thrice, maybe a few times, because the window of opportunity is so much greater for you. And then a final thing, which I guess is sort of to do with these changes that we'll see in the 21st century, the whole notion of the sharing economy. You'll all be aware, I'm sure, of Airbnb and so on. Well, as assets become more and more expensive, and in some instances, not fully, the resources not used to their maximum capacity, well, the whole notion of a sharing economy will become, so the authors say anyway, it will become more and more predominant in our economy and through your lives. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think there's a lot to be excited about, isn't there, from this multi-stage life? I'm quite envious, really, but I'll leave you with that. You may agree with what's in this book, you may disagree, but of course that's the whole point of having the debate in the first instance. So, that's chapter 6, ladies and gentlemen. We're almost at the end of this book, and I'll see you next time with chapter 7. Bye for now.